Hi there, my name's Sarah Burkett, and today I'm going to be talking about Dr. Temple Grandin. Dr. Temple Grandin is the person that I chose to do this presentation on for my famous person essay. First off, who is Temple Grandin? Dr. Temple Grandin is an American scientist and animal behaviorist. She is also an author of over 16 scientific papers. Um, in 2010, she was nominated top 100 most influential people according to Time magazine, and she is also diagnosed with autism. I have a list of some of Dr. Temple Grandin's accomplishments here. Dr. Grandin is a world-renowned expertise in two fields, animal behaviorism and autism. After a successful undergraduate career, she completed her PhD at the University of Illinois in 1989. She has written over 60 scientific papers in fields of animal behavior and autism and is an expert known worldwide in both areas. She is currently a professor at Colorado State University and is actually named one of the top 10 college professors in the country. Um, just to touch on what autism is, in case um you're not really sure what it is. Autism is described by ASAN, or Autism Self Advocacy Network, which is a nonprofit organization for and by autistic people. They describe it as autism is a developmental disability that affects how we experience the world around us. While there is no one way of being autistic, many adult individuals who are diagnosed with autism seem to think differently than neurotypical people, have trouble with executive functioning, problems making decisions, have intense sensitivity to lights and sounds, usually have poor motor skills, and communicate and socialize beyond what is considered the normal standard.
Where are you in bed?
Um, I also want to touch on Dr. Grandin and her relationship with her diagnosis. Dr. Grandin was not formally diagnosed with autism until her adulthood. All previous symptoms that she showed was given the diagnosis pre-hand of brain damage. This could be for a couple reasons. It was a really different time back then. We didn't have a lot of information, good, reliable information on how to diagnose a lot of disabilities and mental illnesses that we have today. And also, even today, it's you're more predominantly going to have an easier time getting diagnosed with autism if you're male and not female. So most female patients with autism often find it hard because there's not as much research about women with autism as there is with men with autism. In her earlier writings, Dr. Grandin described herself as a recovered autistic, but according to Steve Silberman, author of Neurotribes, Neurotribes is a book on famous people with disabilities and mental illnesses. Um, Dr. Grandin put some of her own viewpoints in this novel. She accounts the shame and stigma that surrounded herself as one of the only publicly autistic people in her fame and in her area of studies at the time. So obviously there was a lot of emotional and mental turmoil that comes with that. Steve Silverman wrote, it became obvious to her, however, that she was not recovered, but had also learned with a great effort to adapt to social norms of the people around her. We have a term today that better describes that, generally as a masking. And masking is a term used by people with a disability or mental illness that they're able to learn to disguise themselves as more neurotypical and more normal in social um, situations and with their communication skills, which they learn over time by kind of mirroring behaviors by their peers. These are my citations for all of the information that I've presented. I hope you learned something new about Temple Grandin and her diagnosis and achievements.